Rich friends prevent simple-looking man from using the elevator. 5 minutes later, they receive a mysterious invitation for a dinner in the building and are left breathless upon discovering who the man was. Emily adjusted the strap of her designer bag as she approached the elevator of the luxurious building where she lived. Beside her, her friends Sarah and Linda were laughing, discussing the gala party they were organizing for the next month. "I just can't decide if we should hire a DJ or an orchestra," said Sarah, with a thoughtful expression. "Orchestra, no doubt," replied Emily. "The atmosphere needs to be elegant." Linda agreed, full of enthusiasm. "How about a photo shoot with a custom backdrop? That's going to have everyone talking." 3 women were deep in discussion when the elevator finally arrived. The doors opened, and to their surprise, a plain-looking man was there, holding a toolbox. Emily frowned. "What is he doing here?" she whispered to Sarah. "I'm not sure," Sarah replied, "but he clearly seems to be in the wrong place." Linda laughed. "He should be using the stairs. This elevator is only for the building residents." Besides Emily, Sarah, Linda, and Alex, there were other residents in the elevator who watched the scene in silence, without intervening. The demands that Alex use the stairs were unfounded, as everyone knew there was no such rule in the building. The complicit silence of the other residents made Alex's discomfort even more palpable. Emily and her friends, besides not wanting to mingle with workers, seemed to enjoy at the expense of someone they considered ignorant. The man entered the elevator and pressed the button for the penthouse. The women positioned themselves far away from him, as if the space were sacred. Emily, feeling superior, commented in a low voice, "It's amazing how some people don't understand their place." Sarah and Linda laughed again. "It's true," said Linda. "Look at his clothes. He looks like a plumber." Man, despite his evident fatigue, remained composed. He didn't respond, just looked at the elevator door as if he were waiting to reach his destination. Emily, annoyed, spoke firmly. "You shouldn't be using this elevator. The stairs are right there." The man averted his gaze, remaining silent. The elevator doors opened, other people entered, and he then decided to exit. Emily looked at her friends, feeling victorious, but a slight shadow of discomfort began to settle in. "Do you think we went too far?" Linda asked hesitantly. "Of course not," Emily replied. "He should know his place." Emily had recently moved to the luxurious building, dazzled by the opulence and lifestyle it offered. She was an ambitious young woman, drawn to the glamour and exclusivity of the environment. Emily quickly integrated into the building's social circle, becoming friends with Sarah and Linda, 2 women who embodied the power and influence of the place. Sarah, a renowned event planner, was known for her extravagant parties and her vast network of contacts in high society. Linda, in turn, was an influential corporate lawyer, often dealing with high-profile cases and million-dollar contracts. Both saw themselves as powerful and untouchable, navigating the world with unwavering confidence, bolstered by their successful careers and the impeccable appearances they cultivated. The 3 friends shared a sense of superiority that made them feel above the other residents, and especially the building staff. For them, luxury and status were not just a privilege, but a right. The incident with Alex in the elevator was a reflection of that mindset. They felt entitled to criticize and belittle those they considered inferior, never questioning their own attitude. Emily, dazzled by her new lifestyle, had quickly adopted the same posture. She believed that her new address and her new friendships conferred a special status upon her. She was eager to show the world her new life of glamour and sophistication, frequently attending events and seizing every opportunity to showcase her new lifestyle. However, the encounter with Alex and the revelation of his true identity were a profound shock for Emily. It was a moment of forced introspection that made her realize how empty and superficial her actions had been. Professions and success of her friends, which had once been sources of inspiration and pride, now seemed markers of arrogant and disconnected behavior. The experience served as a catalyst for a personal transformation that Emily knew she needed to undertake. Meanwhile, the man ascended the stairs, each step echoing in his mind. He knew that those moments of disdain were not new to him. There was something different this time. Felt a quiet determination that challenged the superficiality around him. In the lobby, a murmuring began to spread. The residents, who had been observing the scene, were now whispering to each other. Emily and her friends, exiting the elevator, felt triumphant, but the atmosphere around them seemed heavy and tense. Emily realized that the feeling of victory was not as sweet as she had imagined. A shadow of doubt began to loom over her state of mind. "Maybe we should have been a bit more delicate," suggested Linda. "He doesn't live here," Emily replied, trying to sound confident. "Doesn't make sense for him to share the same space as us." Meanwhile, Alex, the true owner of the building, continued his journey, determined not to be discouraged. Alex had been an orphan since a very young age, and the maternal figure was a distant yet deeply cherished memory. On that day, he was in the building doing small repairs, something he approached with dedication and care, as he had a special affection for that place. The building was not just a workplace for Alex. It was where his mother had lived in the penthouse for many years. Penthouse apartment was a refuge of happy and painful memories, and Alex always felt a deep connection to the place. On that particular day, it had been 10 years since his mother's death. The date brought a mix of sadness and nostalgia, and Alex wanted to avoid any sort of confrontation or discomfort. His only wish was to be at peace, remembering his mother fondly. Alex's mother had been a strong and loving woman who raised her son with much sacrifice and love. She always said that the penthouse apartment was her little piece of heaven, a place where she felt safe and happy. As he entered the building, Alex was determined to carry out his tasks with the same dedication as always, but he also wanted to spend some time in the apartment, a space that was not just a repository of memories, but a sanctuary where he kept precious items and memories of his mother. He didn't live there. His life had taken a different path, and he was just passing through. However, the apartment was a place of comfort, where he could feel his mother's presence and relive the moments they had shared together. The day, marked by the painful memory of loss, was for Alex an opportunity to reconnect with his roots and with the memory of his mother. He wanted to take advantage of the solitude in the apartment to reflect on life, celebrate his mother's strength and love, and find some solace in the memories they shared. For him, that space was more than just a physical place. It was a treasure trove of emotions and memories that he held dear to his heart. Few minutes after the elevator incident, Emily, Sarah, and Linda received an unexpected invitation to lunch at the luxurious restaurant in the building. The invitation came with a note informing them that the building's owner, a mysterious billionaire who rarely appeared, would be present. Excited by the idea of meeting such an influential man, the three friends quickly began to make plans to approach him. Emily, Sarah, and Linda sat in Emily's living room, surrounded by the luxury of the building they admired so much. They discussed strategies to use their beauty and influence, imagining the numerous advantages of being close to such a powerful figure. Sarah, the event planner, was the first to speak. "We need to find a way to stand out," she said, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. "Maybe we can use our contacts to organize an exclusive event and invite him. He will." Linda, ever pragmatic, nodded and added, "We can show him how connected we are in high society. If he knows we can open doors for him in specific circles, he will surely see the value in our friendship." Emily, observing her friends with a confident smile, suggested, "We need to appear sophisticated and unattainable, yet at the same time approachable. Let's wear our best dresses and maintain a posture of confidence and grace. The first impression is crucial." The friends began to envision possible scenarios. Sarah pictured Alex enchanted by her ability to create stunning events, while Linda saw opportunities for partnerships in important contracts. Emily, still new to the luxurious life, was particularly eager to impress him and solidify her position in the social circle. "He might invite us to exclusive parties and introduce us to other influential figures," Sarah continued, her mind already formulating potential connection. "Just imagine the contacts we could make through him." Linda agreed, adding, "And besides, being seen next to someone so powerful boosts our prestige. People will respect us even more." Emily, trying to hide the excitement in her voice, concluded, "We need to be subtle, but strategically friendly. Let's make it clear that we are more than just pretty faces. We have value, influence, and connections that could be beneficial for." The three friends, absorbed in their plans, laughed and exchanged ideas on how to approach Alex more effectively. The idea of associating with an influential billionaire like him seemed like a golden opportunity they couldn't let slip away. They were determined to use all the resources at their disposal to ensure that this meeting would change their lives for the better. The three meticulously got ready, choosing the best dresses and flawless makeup. Upon arriving at the restaurant, they were led to a specially reserved table. The ambiance was even more stunning than usual. Fresh flowers and soft lighting, creating an atmosphere of elegance and exclusivity. While they waited, Sarah whispered excitedly, "Imagine the opportunities that could arise if we become friends with the owner of the building." Linda nodded, adding, "Let's impress him, and maybe even get invitations to exclusive events." When the man finally arrived, all conversations ceased. He entered the restaurant, now impeccably dressed in a tailored suit. Emily, Sarah, and Linda were left speechless upon recognizing Alex, the man they had humiliated in the elevator. The shock was palpable as they couldn't believe he was the owner of the building. A murmur of admiration swept through the restaurant as he walked to the table reserved for him. One of the building staff, tasked with introducing him, began to speak. Alex smiled politely, but there was a glimmer of sadness in his eyes. "Thank you all for being here today. This building is very special to me, as it is where my mother lived in the penthouse for many years. Today marks the 10th anniversary of her death, and I am here to honor her and celebrate her memory." Alex's words echoed through the restaurant, and the friends stood still, feeling a wave of shame and regret. They heard people around them praising Alex for his humility and generosity, mentioning the many charitable projects he supported and his dedication to the building. Emily felt her face flush with embarrassment as she remembered how she had treated him in the elevator. Sarah and Linda exchanged uncomfortable glances, both equally mortified by the way they had judged and humiliated Alex without knowing his true story. At the end of the speech, Alex looked directly at Emily, Sarah, and Linda, his gaze full of meaning. The friends could barely hold his gaze, feeling the weight of their action. Emily began to sweat as she realized that Alex was speaking about her and her friends. His words echoed through the restaurant, carrying a serenity that contrasted with the growing tension among the women. "Recently, I had an experience that made me deeply reflect on how we treat each other." His gaze fixed on the three friends. "Sometimes we let our prejudices take over and judge people by their appearance, without knowing their stories or true value." The room murmured in agreement, creating an atmosphere of reflection. Sarah and Linda exchanged worried looks, understanding that they needed to rethink their attitudes. The weight of Alex's words fell upon them like a ton, each phrase a painful reminder of the incident in the elevator. Emily, feeling increasingly ashamed, knew she had to act. Emily stood up, her voice trembling but determined. "Alex, I want to apologize publicly. I was arrogant and insensitive, and I am deeply ashamed of the way I treated you." The friends looked on in surprise and disappointment, but also with a sign of support for a possible change. Alex accepted the apologies gracefully, but made it clear that Emily would have to prove her change of behavior. They knew they had made a terrible judgment, and now they were facing a man who was much more than he appeared to be. The lesson was clear and painful. A person's worth is not in their appearance or apparent position, but in their character and actions. After the conversation with Alex and his impactful speech, Emily, Sarah, and Linda began to realize the huge opportunity they had missed. The chance to know the owner of the building, an influential and admired billionaire, could have been a transformative milestone in their career. Instead of cultivating a relationship based on respect and learning, they had chosen to judge and belittle someone without knowing their true story. Emily felt an overwhelming weight of shame and regret. She recognized that her arrogant and superficial attitude had not only hindered a potentially valuable connection, but also revealed aspects of her personality, urgently needed change. The public humiliation she suffered upon discovering Alex's true identity was a catalyst for her transformation. Emily decided she needed to rebuild her life based on genuine values. She planned to get involved in community projects and strive to treat everyone around her with respect and empathy, regardless of their appearance or social status. Sarah, in turn, reflected on how her career as an event planner could have been boosted by being close to someone as influential as Alex. The doors that could have opened, the new business opportunities, and the valuable connections now seemed distant due to the condescending behavior she and her friends had displayed. Feeling ashamed of her superficiality, Sarah decided she needed to redirect her professional focus toward events that promoted inclusion and diversity, seeking to learn and grow as a person. Linda, the influential corporate lawyer, felt a blow to her professional pride. She had always prided herself on her judgment and analytical skills, but she had failed at something fundamental: recognizing human value beyond appearances. Shame of her attitude in the elevator and the realization of how much she had underestimated Alex led her to reconsider her priorities. Linda decided she wanted to use her influence to promote justice and equality, both in her professional and personal life. She began to plan legal initiatives that would help the less fortunate and ensure that everyone was treated with dignity and respect. Emily, Sarah, and Linda said goodbye that night with a new understanding and commitment. They knew their careers and personal lives would never be the same, but they were ready to embrace this change with humility and determination. The incident with Alex, though painful, became the beginning of a path of transformation and self-discovery. Alex left the restaurant with a mix of emotions swirling inside him. The day he had set aside to honor his mother's memory took an unexpected turn. As he walked through the luxurious hallways of the building, every detail reminded him of the strong and loving woman who had raised him with so much sacrifice and care. Presentation at the restaurant had been a moment of vulnerability for Alex. Speaking about his mother and the importance of that building in his life exposed him in a way he rarely. However, on that day, he felt that he needed to share his story so that people could understand the depth of his emotions and the true meaning of that place. Alex grew up in an orphanage after his mother passed away. She had been the light of his life, always working hard to ensure that he had a chance for a better future. The penthouse apartment was the symbol of her success and the realization of the dreams she so dearly wished for him. He didn't live there, but he kept the apartment as a sanctuary of memories, filled with objects and reminders that kept her presence alive. After the speech, Alex felt a mix of sadness and relief. Sadness for remembering the loss of his mother, for the silent humiliation he suffered in the elevator, and relief for having managed to turn the pain into a lesson for others. He knew that his silence and humility, even in the face of the arrogance of the three friends, had spoken louder than any confrontation could have. As he reflected on the elevator incident, Alex couldn't help but feel a touch of compassion for Emily, Sarah, and Linda. He realized that they were trapped in a bubble of superficiality and snap judgment, something he himself had faced on his journey to success. Alex knew that the power of personal transformation was immense and that everyone had the potential to change. Back in his apartment, Alex opened an old wooden box that held his mother's letters and photos. He sat on the floor, surrounded by memories, and let the tears flow freely. It was a moment of purification, of letting go of the pain and embracing the longing in a way that strengthened him. He knew his mother would have been proud of how he handled the situation with dignity and integrity. After this moment of introspection, Alex made an important decision. He would use his influence and resources to create personal and professional development programs in the building. He wanted to ensure that everyone, regardless of their appearance or position, had the opportunity to grow and develop. He believed that by fostering an environment of respect and empathy, he could truly honor his mother's memory and leave a lasting legacy. Alex began organizing meetings with the residents and staff of the building, listening to their stories and needs. Constant presence and willingness to help transform the dynamics of the place. He was not just the owner of the building, but a mentor and friend, someone who genuinely cared about everyone's well-being. Incident in the elevator, which initially seemed like an episode of pain and humiliation, became the seed of a profound transformation, not only for Alex, everyone around him. His journey from orphanhood to wealth was marked by challenges and triumphs, but also by moments of kindness, and it was this compassion that now guided her actions, ensuring that her mother's legacy continued to shine through her own attitudes and the positive change she inspired in others. The three friends, although embarrassed by their past behavior, understood that this event marked a turning point in their lives. They decided to take different paths, all focused on personal and professional growth based on nobler values. The lesson learned was clear and profound. One cannot judge someone merely by appearance or by what is superficially seen. They were determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past and to build a future where respect and empathy were fundamental. Reflecting on the women's attitude, do you believe they had any reason to judge Alex by her appearance and apparent position in the elevator? Considering the impact of their actions and the later revelation of Alex's true identity, do you think the shame and regret they felt were enough to justify a genuine change in their behaviors? If you enjoyed this story and want to follow more exciting and thought-provoking content like this, don't forget to follow our channel. Like, share, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Leave your comment below. What did you think of the women's attitude? Did they deserve the shame they felt? Your opinion is very important to us. Join our community and participate in the discussions. Thank you for watching.